कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. So we are going to start with our next story of Damleji's life. This is the story where Damleji in 1983, 82 and 83, around that time, Damleji had got the experience of who a Sthita pragnya is. And let us, without much delay, begin the story. Before I begin, I just want to confirm everybody is able to hear my audio clearly, isn't it? Yes?
Yes.
All right, all right, all right, fine. Let us continue. This story is from 1982-83. When I was in Mumbai, 27th May, my birthday had approached. For a while, a thought was brewing within me that I should spend my birthday alone and gain the direct spiritual experience in social life as another dimension of the traditional practices of japa, dhyana dharana, and tapa that I used to follow as part of my integral spiritual discipline. I felt there is a need to get a darshana of the samaja, society, as my life's mission and work was directly and intricately involved with the society. Fortunately, I was in Mumbai, a vibrant mosaic. I'll just mute everybody else if yes. All right. Fortunately, I was in Mumbai, a vibrant mosaic of all sections and types of people, which is very unlike any other city in our country. So it was decided that on the auspicious day of my birth, I shall roam in the society to gain the experience that I sought. I took a small Shabnam cloth bag and placed my shirt and pant within it. I was not going to be wearing my regular clothes. My bathroom slippers that were old were the perfect accessory to match my outfit. Let's go to work, I told myself, well before the Suryodaya, and I left my home. I caught the local train. What was my destination? I had no clue. I caught the train from Santa Cruz to Dadar. I confirmed with a co-passenger in the local language. Dadar jati hai kya? And the passenger only nodded. So I entered the coach and found a vacant spot to sit. There were a few people nearby, unmindful of me and in their own world. My outfit, though, was quite interesting. I was wearing a banyan as a top and had an old towel wrapped around me like a lungi. My good shirt and pant were safely tucked inside my Shabnam bag. As the train began journeying, I reaffirmed to myself, I am nobody. I have no relatives, no identity of my own, no name, and no parents. I am just an ordinary traveler wading through the streets of life. While it is not so easy to establish this consciousness, I tried to at least not bring any thought of my life or my personal familial relationships for the day. As I got out of the train at Dadar, I went to the first temple, a small one dedicated to Bholenath. I could find it, and after getting the darshana, I came out and began observing the world around me. Mumbai was yet to awaken in her full glory. The early birds who were busy with their early morning duties were doing their routine work, but the bustle of activity had not yet begun. My glance fell upon a Jyotishi an astrologer. He seemed to have been slightly more exalted than the astrologers who would sit outside, as he had been given permission by the authorities to sit in the designated area inside the temple premises. A couple of folks were already showing him their patrika for analysis. I decided to approach him, not as Madhu Damle, having received the Best Actor award in the drama field in Indore, had its own perks. Donning the consciousness of a beggar, which was only accentuated by my outfit, I went near him and sat on my knees at a small distance from him and kept looking at him. If I had approached him as the regular me, he would have responded differently. But I wanted to move out of that garb and test the Jyotishi as well. And it seemed to work. The Jyotishi saw an unshaved beggar sitting in his vicinity and frowned a bit. After observing me for a short time, and as I was also looking at him but not uttering a word, he decided to break the ice by calling out, "What is it, Babu? What do you want?" I responded with a perfect diction and tone of someone who has no meaning or purpose in life, and said, after letting out a great sigh, "Nothing, bhaiya. I want a Jyotish consultation." He curtly responded, "I see only patrikas. Do you have your chart with you?" I said, "Yes." I knew my patrika with all the astrological grahas and their positions by heart, and already knew my predictions as per Jyotish Shastra. But I wanted to see what he would say. I requested him, "Please give me a pen and paper." He complied, and as I began drawing the square and diamond patrika onto it and handed it over to him. But before he could speak a word, I asked him, "Babaji, how much do you charge for consultation?" I knew he would try to increase the rates and tell. He told me, "My charges are 51 rupees or 21 rupees, rupees 51 or rupees 21, depending on the person." I at once replied, "I'm sorry, give me back my paper. I will be leaving." Startled when he asked, "Why, what happened?" I told him, "I have only 5 rupees and I had kept it with me for some food, but I was going to give it to you for the Jyotish consultation." Now he didn't seem to want to miss out on the business opportunity, and so asked me to sit and began looking at my patrika after considering me to be a proper beggar. If he was a true Jyotishacharya, he could have understood that the grahas are quite strong and my personality too should be different than what I am making it out to be. I was able to see him from the inside, but he was only looking at me superficially and gave me some neutral future prediction. It seemed to have been said completely on the basis of guesswork based on a narrow logic. What great future can a beggar possess? Another proper Jyotishacharya who knew the Shastra would have got angry at me and said, "Why are you lying? You are no beggar." But that did not happen. I lost my 5 rupees, but also saw how my outer appearance had fooled this astrologer completely. Next, I walked ahead. My objective was to meet random people on the streets, and as I roamed, the time for breakfast approached. I never had the habit of spending much, but today I really didn't want to blow my cover of a beggar, and so did not carry any 100 rupee note. Instead, I had taken care and purposely kept 10 rupee notes, 5 rupee notes, and 2 rupee notes, and some coins, which were far more believable to be in possession of a beggar, and they were nicely kept and folded with me. I began walking on the road, interacting with people, asking for random directions, and observing their actions and reactions. A couple of Marathi ladies were walking, and I asked them, "Tai," which means sister. But before I could complete my sentence, they rudely responded, "What?" And when I said, recognizing their irritation. In fluent and chaste Marathi, Tai, I am not asking for alms or begging. I am only asking for direction to a particular address. To this too they responded. Just a moment, somebody has not muted. Can everybody just take care to mute? Yes, please. Thank you. Tai, I am not asking for alms or begging. I am only asking for the direction to a particular address. To this too they responded rather gruffly. We don't know anything. Don't ask us, ladies. Ask someone else in the neighboring shops. I nodded my head lightly and thought, so this lady thinks she is different from everyone because she is a lady. I smiled and walked some more steps ahead and decided to sit for a while on the footpath. I began observing the people, following my usual practice of face reading, which I used to do right from childhood. Even when I used to travel, I used to often silently observe the persons next to me and guess their profession or works without talking to them. Later on, I would confirm my understanding by befriending them and asking about their work after exchanging pleasantries just before the journey ended. More often than not, my predictions, government servant, school teacher, mill worker, etc., would conform to the reality. So, sitting on the footpath, I continued my study as Mumbai had now awoken and was bustling with activity. I realized it was now time for lunch and so decided to scout for the smallest of small hotels. Any hotel having good banners, posh appearance, or even decent stairs leading to its entrance door was by default rejected. Even hotels with nice wording such as Amboi is available here and ready was also rejected. As I walked ahead, I found my place. It was a small tapri with enough room for two small tables, which could accommodate four packs, approximately four persons only. I stood outside it like a proper beggar would and didn't even enter. When I was in 8th class in a fancy dress competition, I had dressed as a beggar, and my beggar impersonation got first place, beating the likes of the other impersonations of Shivaji Maharaj, Swami Vivekananda, Lokmanya Tilak, etc. I had even changed my voice this time. So I changed my voice in a rough voice, asked the owner of the tapri, Babuji, khana milega kya? The owner matched it with an equally rough voice. Kya hai be? Are you begging? Someone move this fellow immediately. He is eating my business. I had completely dismissed any signs of smartness from my personality as I stood before the tapri. I had not shaved, nor put on any makeup as well. But consciously, I wanted to be completely unrecognizable, and it seemed to work. I replied in a humble voice, No, Maharaj, I am hungry. In a gruff but slightly milder tone, he replied, That's what I am asking. Do you have money? I replied, Yes, I have a little, but what do you have to offer? And he resumed his regular angry tone. Don't you have eyes? Can't you see what's written? Rice plate is there for rupees 4. See the board. When I looked in a confused manner at the board, he grumbled, God knows what kind of people come to my place. When I asked him, What do you get in a rice plate? He replied, Two or three chapatis, two servings of rice and vegetable and dal. I told him with a long face, I have only 2 rupees. Do you get anything in that? He bargained and said, Give me 2 rupees and 50 paise. I'll give you a choti thali. When I asked him what comes in that, he replied angrily, It has one serving of rice and two chapatis, little sabji, no extra portions of anything. What do you expect? Do you want to purchase the entire hotel for 2 rupees 50 paise? From his tone, I could empathize with how poor people are treated with contempt and disrespect. I ate the food and then left to the bazaar. I saw a couple of beggars on the street and thought it would be better to interact with an association of beggars instead of individual ones. There was no fear in the mind in walking into unknown territory. as I had got used to facing the unexpected. In my talks on the street, I learnt that it would be better to go to Babulnath Mandir. As I was unaware, I asked the beggar for directions, to which he remarked, "What? A beggar does not know the way to Babulnath Mandir." And he directed me. I walked to the temple, and I was surprised to see beggars already occupying both sides of its entrance. I learned that each gunny sack was an indication that a spot was reserved. This was not unbelievable to me, as I had heard that in Mumbai, even shacks or the small huts were hot properties which would sell for lakhs. I found a place for me between two beggars and began lying down in a sleeping posture on the floor. I wanted to see the whole consciousness of all the beggars, see what they talk, how they interact, and understand their thoughts. And I lay on the stone floor there for nearly 2.5 hours. As I closed my eyes for a while, and when I opened them, I saw that some generous devotees had even placed a few coins before me. I was satisfied that my experience was now complete, and I smiled, reminding myself that if I continue, there was a good chance I will become one with this consciousness only. So I got up and saw that around 40 to 50 paise had been placed in front of me. The two beggars who were on either side of me had been staring at me. Maybe they felt something was different, but didn't summon the courage to ask me anything. I divided the coins into two and placed a portion each in front of them and walked out quickly before they could ask or say anything to me. From the temple, I roamed among the general public for a while and then decided to go to Sahakar Building Ashram, where there was a center for meditation and a center for the sale and distribution of spiritual books. I knew the taxi fare was rupees 6, and so I decided to catch a cab. I stood and showed my hand at the first cab that came my way. The driver stopped, turned down the meter, and asked where to. I got inside and told him. I was a little surprised, as there was no reaction to my beggar's get-up, which had gotten only a little dirtier by lying down outside the Babulnath Mandir. Throughout the journey, he didn't pass a comment about me or my appearance or anything else. I asked him to stop a little distance before the ashram gate, and he complied instantly without a word. Even when I gave him rupees 6 fare, he didn't look at me or utter a word. He simply turned the meter up and then went on his way ahead. He didn't speak a word, didn't ask anything, didn't look at me, but was in a very peaceful consciousness, doing his daily duty. He didn't care about who sat in his vehicle and was very particular, and I felt both warmth and respect for him. Now I was ready to brace a challenge. I was going to enter a place where high level spiritual sadhaks moved with fresh white iron clothes and faces appearing like display boards saying, "Our consciousness is higher than yours." I had not been there before, but I had a good idea of what to expect. The moment I entered, the one doing the gatekeeper's duty, who normally tells in a sharp tone, "Take your chappals out," looked at me angrily. I avoided eye contact with him, but could sense his eyes following me around. I had already taken out the worn out bathroom slippers that I was wearing, much before receiving any instruction. Hari Om, is I think my screen is signed out, is what it is saying. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
All right, I just got a notification that I got signed out. All right, then let us continue. Thank you. Yes. So I had already taken out the worn out bathroom slippers that I was wearing much before receiving any instruction. Those chappals those days used to be called Nilo Dholu, and the blue rubber strap would often come off every time. I had kept it away, walked, and saw that there was a small library and a beautiful samadhi like arrangement for some relics of the mother and Sri Aurobindo. As I walked towards the books, I received a special instruction from another of the volunteer offering service. Don't you touch the books. I didn't utter a word, and I felt I was not supposed to directly look at them, and so was indirectly observing them. What was interesting was that I was being observed very astutely, and instead of directly observing them, like in the case of the Jyotishi, I had to only observe how they were observing me, and I found the contrast to be quite humorous. Slowly, I moved to the place where the relics were kept, and I sensed some restlessness in my observers. Some cautioned, take darshan from far. Everyone was touching their foreheads to that samadhi like arrangement, and I didn't like that they singled me out and told me not to touch my forehead, as I was anyway not having eye contact with any of them. I ignored the warning and touched the samadhi with my forehead in reverence. None said a word to me. After that, I came outside. I didn't need to catch another cab, as I had already got my cab experience. So I went to a nearby public restroom that was in quite a dilapidated state. I relieved myself and came out and changed my clothes by a corner. Two men were staring at me as my appearance and get-up had changed completely after I took out that posh shirt and pant from my Shabnam bag. I stared back at them with big eyes, and they turned away and walked away, probably assuming I was a plainclothes police officer or something. And as I returned home, I replayed all the experiences of the day in my mind. A friend of mine, Ashok, who was my ex-boss and also related to me, had come to meet me, but he had to wait. So when I came home, he greeted me with a lament. What is this? What have you done? I wanted to spend your birthday with you. Now it's evening. Still, see, I have come. I got you. I have got for you a cola and a cake. Let's celebrate. Those days, having a drink of cola was a party in itself. From childhood, I had disliked these sweetened, aerated drinks. Kulfi from the streets was always better than this, in my opinion. We ate together, and then he decided to leave. While going, he asked me a question. Madhu, what have you achieved? You have told me what you did the whole day. It's your birthday, and you are the greatest fool on this earth. I wanted to invite you over for lunch, and my wife too was waiting. After scolding, he looked at me, waiting for an answer, for he knew of my spiritual side, and asked again, what did you get from it? I replied, do you know? We really dismiss people off as beggars, but we forget that they too have a jiva within them, just as they have the jivatman. I got a perspective of the experience of their jivatman as I lay there at the entrance of the Babulnath Mandir. They were truly peaceful, not shouting, not asking anything else except their begging cries, Dyao, Dyao, which they repeated like a mantra and with the same intensity and regularity. And the only sound that interrupted them was the clinking of the coins as they fell on the plate. There was a great silence otherwise. Even the giver didn't speak a word, for he only wanted to give. And as I was talking to you, I remembered the spiritual lines Nase raga lobha, nase bhaya trishna, to sthita pragnya. The realized one who is free from the rush of desire and anger and urges as well as fear, I had is the sthita pragnya one. I had heard a lot about sthita pragnya, but today I saw a person with sthita pragnya state. Surprised, he asked me, who was that? I replied instantly, the taxi driver. To which Ashok again said, Madhu, only you can think this way. It is very difficult to understand you. The taxi driver was indeed a Sthita Prajna. He discharged his duties perfectly and in a completely detached manner, without any inner fluctuations. He turned the meter down, drove me, took the money, turned the meter up, and when I turned to see him after taking a step, he had already gone away. Everyone else whom I met today experienced a fluctuation in consciousness that took place only because of my outer appearance. This was my gain. My work is connected to the Samaj, society, and this understanding on my birthday was very essential for me. Real life experiences cannot be learned from only from books. Rather, the books must confirm the real life experience, and this is possible only when you throw your life and offer it at the lotus feet of the divine. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Those whose eyes are illumined with that knowledge is insight, all living ones appear equivalent and identical to their sight. From the learned spiritual seeker to the elephant or the cow, from the dog to the consumers of lower animals like the sow. Hare Krishna. Yes, so this was the experience. We can have a small discussion on this and then we will go ahead to, as I think Ramanji also suggested something and other participants also. Yes, please. This story seemed like just a regular story, isn't it? But wasn't it having a very big spiritual meaning inside of it? Can someone share something about what you felt what did you get from this story? And this is a real life story. It is an absolute lived experience of Damleji. Yes, anybody? Yes, Maji? Yes, Sada Maji, you were saying something? I can't hear you. Yes, anybody, because it's our Gita talk session. We will have to all take it ahead after discussion only. Yes, please. Anybody? Yes, anyone?
It's a very beautiful experience, and I would want to experience something similar. Maybe we are the female. Uh, we feel like being a male is advantageous at times. They get a more opportunity to experience things, but I somehow I also always from my childhood I wanted to do things like real life experience, Damleji had experience. So it's so nice. It's like I am kind of doing it. It's like listening to the story of this incident of Damleji is making me feel like as if it's something which I wanted to do and I have already done it. So
See,
it's wonderful.
one thing
Something.
Damleji says is some experiences one need not take it again. The experiences from somebody else, we can actually take it. Like I was very stupid when I was young. So when Bhaiya told me touch fire, and I touched the fire, and then I learned it was hot. But my sister was very clever. She didn't have to burn her fingers to know that if you put your hands in fire, it will burn. So something like that. This experience, like I do not know what I was doing. 83, 84. I was not born. I was in some other janma. I have no idea if it was even Manushya janma or not. But this experience was very special. And one more interesting part was like Damleji had asked Thai like that to two ladies, and immediately they were in their consciousness, in their outer consciousness, that they felt no, we are different or we are separate. No, don't you talk to us. We cannot be talked to. You ask somebody else. So like that, maybe I think divine also is hiding, playing games also with us. Every day we might be seeing the divine, and the divine may be appearing like a very ordinary simpleton. But let us hope we are not turning away the divine anytime. We should, whose example should we follow to be conscious? Otherwise, we do not know. So we might even say Jabe to the divine, like the person in the tapri. He just said, no, who is this person? He's eating my business, as if he has got a big business and he's losing that business for one moment. So whose example can we follow if we want to look at? Anybody?
Taxi driver.
Taxi driver, Sthita pragnya. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. What is that? How does a person with Sthita prajna look like? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he talk? Arjuna had asked questions, so look at that taxi driver. He did not get disturbed that my taxi will become dirty. Who is this? Whether it is a Raja also, he would have treated the same way. Whether it is anybody else also, he would have treated the same way. No special preference, just focusing on the duty. So probably this is one lesson that we can see. That is the way of the Sthita Prajna. And Krishna says this Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Oneness, oneness in all. The shloka also that we saw. Brahmano Gavi Hastini. So this probably is the lesson that we can draw from this story. If anybody would like to add some more things, you are welcome. After which, if you wish to have a discussion, we can have a discussion on anything related to the Gita and take our Gita talks ahead. Yes, please. Yes, Dr. Bhavanaji is saying something. Yeah.
Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to practice Stri Bhava. So he was directly entering into the consciousness of a Stri, and then he was with Sharda.
So yes. So then this does not, it is not connected with the outer physical.
Yes.
It's the consciousness, isn't it? We can experience the consciousness, but for that we have to lose our identity or attachment to the outer. न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे जाति भेद पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बंधुर्न मित्रम गुरुर्नैव शिष्य चिदानंद रूपा शिवोहम शिवम. For that we have to, like Damleji said, means he said beautifully in the start of the story itself, like, I have no mother, I have no father, I have no family. Of course he has all of them, but for that moment, in that consciousness, brahmacharya vrate sthita is there in the Gita. It is not meaning only the brahmacharis. The state of consciousness of brahmachari must be carried by a person in the sadhana. So like that, what Damleji talked about, that he said it is difficult. Why is it difficult? Anybody? Can you tell me?
To lose the identity first of all.
Yes, Maji. Yes, Sharda Maji. Why do you think it is difficult, Ji, to lose the identity?
Yeah,
Because
first that we are so attached to that first and foremost. Even though we feel that we want to leave it, that keeps coming.
yes.
Very difficult.
It is.
Maybe we'll take it as
It is
a
a
subject.
sanskara, no? It is a sanskara that is created in our life. We keep reinforcing it. Like something we like, we keep doing again and again, and then we get so attached. Sometimes, probably, if we come out of it, then, because sometimes best sports players, they are legends in their sports career. But the moment their sports career is over and now people are not calling them legend, they feel, what is this? Why is nobody calling me a legend? I am legend. I should be respected. But that is a kshetra, isn't it? That is a part of that individual. That is not the entire. The individual is much more than the outer identity. Or sometimes heads of institutes, when they get the salutes, they feel, wow, I am the Raja. And then after retirement, nobody is asking. That becomes a bigger problem. What is this? Because it is all attachment to the identity. Yes, Dr. Bhanaji was adding something, is it?
I remembered what Sri Damleji tells. How do I do it, losing the identity? Just by doing it. That's what he has shown in his example.
Just by doing
How
it.
do I do it? Just by doing it.
Yes. So we have to not limit. Yes. That was very nicely said. So I think it was a very interesting story. If we look deeper, we will actually draw a lot of principles. Like if we just the very movement only. How can one Imagine people like to act like they are the kings. There, I am Raja or I am better, but I am beggar who is ready to act. Even in the thought, even in thought process, we feel, oh, no, no, my value cannot go down even one moment. I am attached to what I am. But this happens in life and we do not know. Maybe Krishna also may be coming in our life as a beggar and maybe saying, time nahi hai, छुट्टे nahi hai. See, अपना अपना काम करो. So probably we have to become conscious so we can realize that is one important message that we can take. Excuse
Uh,
me.
s- Somebody
Yes.
who would want to realize the truth would definitely take this step, then come to know the true picture of this world. Like, even though people are spiritually inclined, but they do not, if they can't respect a poor person, then what is the meaning of the spirituality? So it's
Yes, yes.
this is a
Absolutely.
very
There's they say Daridri Narayanan. Daridri Narayana, they say,
yes.
if you're not able to see there. But that does not mean Narayan only is there only. He's everywhere. So sometimes some people get a negative attachment. There were some very famous social workers who got lots of awards, but they wanted to keep the people poor only because that is the chance for service. But that is not the thing. It is emancipation of every single person that is important. So, but recognizing empathy is something which only a sadhak is is capable of. As Manisha ji has rightly said, and if we are a true sadhak, we should be able to, because that's what Krishna has also talked about throughout the Gita. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Arjuna, don't have hatred for Duryodhana, the one who is trying to murder you, the one who has insulted your Draupadi. But even for him, you are going to fight him as a duty in the state of Sthita pragnya, like the driver, and not like a angry, frustrated husband or an angry, uh, son taking revenge and vengeance. He has to do his duty. He is not supposed to surrender to the wrong. That is not what he's, but not having that hatred, not having that samatha, being able to see oneness. So that is one important point. So I think this story in itself is quite experience for me also. I luckily completed it in time for today. So anything anybody wishes to talk about, because I think today we have around 9 participants. We're open for because I think Ramanji is not there. Rajiv ji is also not there. Niti ji also is not there. So they wanted Sita Pragna's definition, but I think the story has covered it. Anything you would like from the Gita? Any particular question you would like to look at? Or if you're satisfied and after the story you would like to complete, we could also conclude the session today. Yes, Ji. I request the participants only. It is up to you.
So actually, last time I was talking about pain.
Pain. Yes, Ji.
Can we talk something on that, like the
About
context of
pain.
pain? Like,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. William, could you like to
What is
highlight
the
a
what
little
is
bit?
the yeah? I mean, I just want to understand. Like all the aspects of life are there, right? What is the importance of pain? See, everything in life, I strongly believe, is for a reason. Why pain,
Yeah.
and how do we handle that and not take it like as if something alien and not accepting it? And how do we take care of that? And I
Okay.
mean, accepting life
Yes.
like how we do other things in life.
Yes. Yes. All right, Deepti. Would it be, since it's a dialogue, no? Can we have a dialogue, Deepti? Since this is a yes, can we have a dialogue on this? Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. So pain is uh, how does it occur? When does it occur? Pain is when you lose something, isn't it, Ji?
We lose something, we're not able to accept certain things.
When you are not able to accept some things. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. There are
Yes,
different directions.
yes.
But generalizing, it's like you have rightly said that you don't accept some things, or something doesn't conform to your expectations, isn't it?
True.
So now expectations are a source of pain, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, pain is good. Pain is, it's like, watch the half full glass. Now, you've asked for a glass of water and somebody says, see the positive, I've given you half a glass of water. We can say, chalo, take a positive attitude, I will look at it that way. But actually, the truth is this, no? That it is half. You wanted a glass of water. So we can say pains, we can try to see the other aspect of pain, and because it's like after, if a student has got hit by the teacher, or a rap has got, now what is the student going to do? He has to already experience that. He cannot run away from that. Or so when we get the pain, we have no option but to bear it. But the main reason of pain is expectation only. Our expectations. We'll come to physical pain a little later, because some people, when they go through disease, the time they have pain, it is less connected with expectations. It has other psychosomatic aspects keeping them aside. It's a different, completely different etiology also there. But if you look at the emotional aspect or mental aspect of pain, its origin is, ugam is this only.
Wow.
Expectation. I loved this person so much, but that person did not return my love. मीन्स ये क्या है, ये पार्सल है क्या, डिलीवरी कोड एक्सेसिबल नहीं था उनकी तरफ से तो डिलीवर नहीं हुआ. It is not a commodity, isn't it? Even we say love is also one directional only, isn't it? It is true, but love is always one direction, not because I'm getting something. Otherwise, you can call it barter or deal or business transaction. When you are having expectations, I am giving, देखो मैंने 40 रुपए दिए, और टुडे इन टुडे स्टोरी देखो 2 रुपए 50 पैसे दिए, मुझे छोटी थाली देनी चाहिए. That is a deal which can be done in a tapri also, or can be done in a 5-star hotel also. But in this relation of love, there is no deal like that. It is an offering only, without any expectation. It is done. When it is done that way, we call it true love, isn't it? Otherwise, we say it's not true love. It has got adulteration. Adulteration of what? Emotions coming out of expectations. These emotions have a big, like a rainbow colors, all different ranges. Dvesh comes in, raga comes in, lobha, all the shad ripus also enter because of the attachments, because of expectations. So can we not say the entire simplest way is getting free from expectations? Getting free from it. Santushtaha satatam yogi. मस्त रहो, मस्ती में आग लगे बस्ती में. Or they say Ramta Jogi Behta Pani, nobody can stop that, because he is there in that layer of the consciousness of the divine. Means he is not a real yogi. Krishna keeps telling Arjuna, this is the beauty of the Gita, that practical is also taught, metaphysical is also taught, spiritual also is taught, but again, don't lose ground with practical. Full Ugra, crazy Vishwarupa Darshana is taught, but after Darshana, he is teaching what is Bhakti Yoga, proper Bhakti Yoga, where again practical in the ground. So here a person should not lose that connect with the ground. They have to become like Raja Janaka also, but have no expectations. Taxi driver, look at that, isn't it? He's not asking for मुझे extra दो, मेरा सीट खराब हो गया तो तुम्हें ये और देना पड़ेगा, क्लीनिंग करना पड़ेगा. No, that was the right one. And these are karmas. These are little karmas. Many people say, why are they important? Sadhak is conscious. A sadhak understands little actions are important. Small actions are only most important sometimes. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Biggest danger, it can protect a person. Small action done in the right manner. So now coming back to the concept of pain, emotionally or mentally, only one reason for pain. That is the expectation. Expectations are there. Now comes the second counter question. गलत बात है क्या? Expectations are they wrong? Yes, Dipti ji.
Actually, I mean, personally speaking, from my experience till now, yes, I mean, I don't find them very endearing, because I
Very?
tell
You
my
don't find them
parents,
very?
I don't find them that they're going to add something to
You're not
anyone's
going to
life.
add anything good.
Because
Okay.
I'll tell you why I'm saying this is that I have always been a person, I mean, since a very young age, that it was like, मुझे करना है तो मेरे दिल से करना है. I mean, सामने वाले ने करा नहीं करा, it doesn't matter. But there was a point in life where I started, with few people, I started like, okay, that mindset na suddenly changed with very, very few people. And then it turned out, no, it's like I started feeling pain. Like I was like, why is this not happening? Then I realized that the previous me has actually there has been a layer on top of it, and that was of expectation. So
Okay,
then
so
I
that
realized, okay, that was the, I mean, then that's why I was like, why is it hurting me? Why is it not like, why am I feeling like this? So I just one day I introspected and no. Earlier it was like with everybody else, it is like it's okay, but with few people, why is it not okay? So let's keep it neutral for every person. So yes, expectations are actually not good
they're
for
not good.
anybody.
That is your
No.
clear cut, beautifully said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. From my personal experience, it's not good.
Because
It hurts you. It hurts you only,
okay,
nobody else.
nobody else. So this is actually a very beautiful explanation that you have given. It's very practical also. Expectations are the source of all the troubles. And problem is expectations don't get fulfilled also. I may do something which is exceeding expectation according to me, but somebody else will rate it as below expectations. This is very poor. A father did not want anybody to say one bad word about him or his daughter's wedding. So he made a most lavish wedding. Everything was beautiful, so perfect that he decided I'll even let loot lo mujhe, no problem. I will give all the guests gold coins. Let the people come and take the gold coins from the one pot while they are going. So now this wedding was over. And then his friend came, and now your daughter's wedding was perfect as per expectation. I don't think anybody would have been disappointed. He said, no, everybody was saying that vessel which they had given for taking out the gold coins had a very small mouth. So people could take out. So you see, you do everything perfect also. Somebody will say, ye acha nahi hai.
Yeah. Somebody to
Sometimes
find a fault, they will find a fault.
people sometimes use this in relationship. I have heard from friends, a person broke up with one more person because you are too perfect.
Mm.
No, means what do you want? Means now he's tried or she has tried her best to present everything, whatever. But now here expectation is still there. The person, maybe it's not a true relationship, isn't it? And somebody is doing the best possible. Nobody is perfect. We all know that. We try our best. So expectation is a source of trouble, but everybody has expectations, isn't it?
It's
By default. By default, expectation comes into our
if
thoughts.
not with anybody, with ourselves, from ourselves
No,
only.
but
That is
yes,
also, if not
yes,
with other people.
you do something nice. अरे उसने अच्छा बोलना चाहिए. अरे अच्छा लगा उसने बोला अच्छा. Means it may not be दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा, something like that. Smallest of
Or maybe if we
desires.
have picturized something about our own work, okay, this is how it should be. And if it's not happening, it like brings the mood down for
Yeah,
that
mood
particular
down,
moment.
but we are looking at the ugam of expectation itself, that
Yes,
expectations are happening by default, isn't it?
yes, yes,
Inside all
yes.
of us. It's like ये तो अगर हम इसको अच्छा ठीक है मानते हैं कि ये if we are a system, programming system, we can say this may be a virus. It's not something which is good. We are not happy, but this is present. It is omnipresent also. So now a phenomenon which is omnipresent must have some origin, some ugam.
Mm.
Whom do we blame for the expectation inside everybody? Because they are causing trouble. We know that wise people will understand. Like you said, I understood this was a layer I built over me. That layer had to be scraped out. I became free. And it expectation is the root cause. I try to not have expectations towards all, near, dear, and even far. This is perfect Gita principle. This is the Shastra of the Gita which Krishna has told. Many people, sadhaks also get trapped in expectations. In sadhana also they feel I have done this particular sadhana. Now I have got certain siddhi. This sadhana is, I am experiencing this jagruti. This state has become like this, so now I will become this way, plus minus all that happens. So, but if we want to say this expectation, which is present in everybody, whether it's a sadhak or whether the opposite of sadhak we can call badak, who is preventing the person's growth. But everybody is having expectations in different praman. The reason is there in the Gita, that is called Prakriti. Prakriti is the cause. Prakriti is the cause. Prakriti is the, what we can say, reason. So that means we will be free from guilt at least. ठीक है, expectation आया, it's all right. This is human nature. But why do we do sadhana? To transcend the human nature, to transform the human nature. So we have to understand, because it is this is the. Now, Ekoham Bhavsyami was an expectation only, no? If you look at it, the Vedantic Mahavakya, I am one, I expect to become many now. Let me be many. But we don't call it ahankara. When we say soham asmi, it is not the aham of the individual puny ego. So maybe expectation may have a divine purpose inside it also. Just like pain also has a divine purpose. Pain teaches us, if you see purely biologically, pain teaches us. My body starts hurting, my teeth start hurting, they tell me, oh, root decay, chalo, root canal treatment ka time aa gaya. So at least I recognized it. If my sensors, I just try to cut it down, what's going to happen? The decay will go on, and I will spoil myself. So in the physical body also we see the pain. In the emotional relation, also imagine, अरे बहुत हो गया, I'll now break from this. Continuously I'm experiencing pain, so pain is pushing a person out. But with that, you can go. So, but a difference is there between a yogi's way of dealing with pain and a bhogi's way of dealing with pain. The bhogi is going to cry. The bhogi is going to add another dimension to the pain, which is already painful. It is called suffering. Yes,
Exactly.
Arvind ji said that.
हाँ यस वो अभी वही पॉइंट बोलने वाला था पेन विल
हाँ.
बी देयर व्हाई सफर
Why suffer?
Yes.
Why suffer?
व्हाई सफर
Some people, they learn to even smile in spite of the pain. And then there are some people who are not able to see the smile. तुम इतना क्यों मुस्कुरा रहे हो? क्या गम है जिसको अरे छुपा रहे हो तो छुपाने दो. उनकी इच्छा. We say freedom, no? Everybody has that. There are so many. In our Delight family also, we see Usha ji has been bearing the physical pain. Physical pain she has been bearing, and beautifully she connects it with Krishna's experiences. So, pain has a purpose. It is called the hammer of God. It brings transformation. We say no pain, no gain. Human birth begins with pain only. The mother also experiences extremely high decibels of pain, but through that pain, a new life is formed. So, for new creation, pain is there. Pain is also a universal language. But suffering need not be. And that is probably why we need to do sadhana. And again, you see, these are like consciousness it is not like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, like a logical mental levels, no? Somebody who is already in a high state of consciousness may suddenly have expectations, because expectation that person may fall lower than the lowest conscious person also. Because of the expectation attachment, this person may end up doing a wrong action. And then because of the expectation, again, pain will take place. So it is a dynamic flux in our life that we are having of consciousness only. If you see, the way we can rise is by experiencing the ananda of the creation, trying to understand the pain is nothing but a shadow of ananda, a dark side of the ananda. Krishna, Sri Aurobindo uses the word nirananda. And beautifully he asks a question, Kohi niranandam bhoktum utsehet. Who is it who can dare to become niranandi? Somebody who has already got and contains ananda, isn't it? If I am a beggar, can I say I'll act like a beggar?
No, I'm already a beggar.
No, I'm already a beggar. But now in the Damleji's story, he's already is a higher state of consciousness. He can say, I can put on a mask. So someday that mask will come out, the pain will fall off. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardanam urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityormukshya mamrutat. That is the mukti, that is the moksha also. Esha moksha. This only. The freedom from pain. Pain was the reason Gautam Buddha got realization, isn't it? Said, no, I don't like it. I don't tolerate this. I can't accept this. What is this? What is death? What is suffering? So the journey starts. Again, pain starts the journey. Adhyatmic Marga, most of the people who walk have experienced pain. They are sensitive ones who can walk on this path. The insensitive one do not walk. They get lost in the entire, what we can say, Sthula Jagat only. They cannot perceive the Sukshma Satya, which is present even in the Sthula. They get trapped, and in the Maya, they are just like the tide, they just go, rise with the tide, fall with the tide. That is what happens. So pain, experience of pain is right. It is fine. Channeling it. We saw, there is a Ramana Maharshi got operated without anesthesia. He knew how one button is there, like pankha on off, no? Inside in his consciousness. He turned off. The doctor was afraid. The doctor felt very uncomfortable. I cannot do the operation. And the very interesting story about it was he didn't want to do the operation itself in the first place. But you see, attachment of the bhaktas, no? They said, no, no, Maharshi, you must do. And then it was so much that he had to comply to the wish of the bhaktas. And during his time, during his period, one bhakta came with a similar problem and he offered him the solution. And that person, without getting operated, got cured. But he said, at least I have listened to this, but don't lower my consciousness with an injectable. I don't want my consciousness to lower. This is their sake. We're not trying to. My father is an anesthesiologist. He might get what am I advising to the people? No, I'm not saying don't take anesthesia. It's required. Yes, yes. But we're talking about the aspect of pain. Consciousness is something which is there and you can identify. Only the strong can feel weakness because they know what is strength. Somebody who's never experienced pain, he cannot say like, oh, I'm weak today. Like, it is something like that, Diptiji. Have we covered the topic completely?
Yes, yes, now I understood. Because last time one second.
Yeah.
So because last time when I was talking to you about it, that I heard that somebody saying that pain is by design, that it's the point where it is
Yes.
there so that you get to know when to exit. So when you were
Yes,
giving
yes.
examples, certain things, I could actually understand the meaning of that statement. But it was very stuck in my head. Why did he say so? Like that's why I
Why is it
understand.
design? Does
So it
God
is like why
want me to feel pain? I got very irritated. What God does not want me to. My mother had told a very nice statement when I was trying for my higher studies, and I was not for some reason the universities which normally accepted the applications, my application they were rejecting. I mean, ye kya baat hai? And I was struggling so much. My mother just told me one dialogue of Sri Aurobindo, which I don't know what context she was saying. She was not specifically saying in my context, but it pricked me. He said, when God's will and human will does not match, then there is pain and there is suffering. I was like, hey, why God does not want to do my higher studies? Why is he having such swartha to interfere in I am a student. It is my dharma to study. It is my dharma to learn. I have found a beautiful branch. Now is God going to intervene to prevent me from getting knowledge? What is this? I don't believe it. I don't accept it. That was where my pain was continuing. Struggle went on. And then afterwards, it had nothing to do with any emotions at all. When emotions had become quiet, I got an offer, and that time I said, I don't want to go. They asked me again next year, you'll got to offer plus a scholarship, as if they are luring me. But I was very happy. I am not going. I have already decided. Please remove my name from your system. This was an email which I sent to them. So, but this aspect of whether it, like you said, no, why is the design? Is it a design? Well, it is a game of consciousness. That is why we call it Leela. Leela of Krishna. He is playing the Rasa Leela. We have a choice. Get trapped and drown in Maya or become awake, experience the Leela. And his Leela, you will experience his presence every single place. It can be in people, it can be in objects, it can be in thoughts also. Yes. So
we say in a layman term, there is a reason for everything that's happening.
yes, yes. So we have to become fully conscious because these terms also when we hear it intellectually. But we try to many times but are we fully experiencing it? We have to try to enter into the experience.
Maybe when we are in that experience, we should recall those phrases, those
Yes.
sentences, and see,
Yes.
okay, is it like, am I able to relate to what's happening?
Yes. So this is important. The smriti has to come, recalling has to take place. Hanuman must no, remember, he has the shamata, but somebody must tell him, hey, you can go, you can take that leap. That is in the Upanishads also the same thing. Kruto smara, kritam smara. Remember the great deeds that you have done. Remember what you have done. Remember what you are capable of. Oh, hero, remember the great deeds that you have done. And the interesting part is that Upanishad doesn't talk only about this birth. We remember deeds of this birth itself is sufficient. We will become very confident. But we do not know. We are in a chain of births and consciousness which are taking place. So I think Deeptiji, with this, probably we can complete the topic, is it?
Yes,
Is it?
yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji. Hari Om. So if anybody wants to discuss anything else, you are welcome, or we'll conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Yes. Hari Om,
Hari
Payal
Om,
Ji.
Sushil
Namaste
ji.
Ji.
Hari Om,
Namaste.
everyone.
Hari Om.
Namaste ji. I have a question. I don't know, like it relates to this topic. But
I think all questions relate.
I'll say the question, and I want it to be how we can relate it to Gita ji. If you don't have time, we can discuss in the next
Yes, Ji. Okay.
session.
We can continue.
There is a quote that हम सच बोलते गए. Can I say in Hindi na? Okay. हम सच बोलते गए और अकेले होते गए. हम सच बोलते गए और अकेले होते गए. झूठों की महफिल सजती रही.
Okay. And Rabindranath Tagore has told Ekla Chalo Re, no? Isn't
Yeah.
it?
yes. Point.
Has it?
Yes.
Yes. Why has he said that? One thing is, महफिल कब सजती है? झुंड जब इकट्ठा होता है. कौरवों का झुंड ज्यादा बड़ा था, no? Compared to Pandava's army.
Yes.
Let's say 6-7 lakhs. So that is lower nature easily attracts people and forces. So, but Satya is there which you have to stand initially. And if your job is to gather more people and form a political party, maybe आपको सच की जरूरत नहीं है. पर अगर आपका ये प्लान नहीं है, आपका तो सत्य को एक्सपीरियंस करना है, जो है वो ऋतम है, सत्य है, वो what this Satyam Shivam Sundaram Satyam Rutam Bruhat, these are all beautiful. Poets have expanded the truth consciousness, which is very high, that which is eternal. One need not worry. Means the reason they are probably saying is the same thing. We have Devi Swabhav, Asuri Swabhav, isn't it? Asuri Swabhav is something which will initially look more powerful. It is always like, it is always, when you go and see, you see the person who is doing right is alone always. So this is actually a sad, like a ghazal kind of quote, the quote which is made where the person is reveling in the sorrow of becoming alone. See, I ultimately became alone. But somebody who has had the company of truth is never alone. And that strength of truth has kept people who have been wrongly convicted and put in jail for years. They are able to rise, they are able to still stand, and people don't understand where do you get the strength? They say it was inside. I was truthful, I knew I was there. And a sadhak is ready to walk alone. Means sadhak is ready because no, that is why Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore was not somebody who was a loner or wanting to say, no, the world does not understand me, so I'm going alone. But Ekla Chalore is ready. Ready to walk the path alone because the path of truth. And when somebody is walking on this path, you're not alone. People, you will find that truth consciousness will start manifesting. It will. Satyameva Jayate, what they say, or Sant Tukaram has beautifully said, Jethe Zato Tethe Tu Madha Sangati. Where I go, there you are my companion. He has experienced. Talavishi Hati Dharuniya. He walks. He takes me ahead, holding my hand, like a child is being led forward. And that is the experience of a person. Then no more alone. So our Sri Aurobindo in the jail, Alipur jail, conspiracy to hang him. The Britishers only they are the judges, they are the ones who have foisted the case, they want him hanged. There he says, I found Krishna. Madhava was hugging me in that rug which was provided to such a great personality in solitary confinement. 6 by 9 feet small prison, dingy dark cell, least ventilated cell, designed to make people mad. Here he gets the anand of Madhava hugging him in that blanket. So this quote probably it is like we can say ready to be alone. Let us be alone. We will not be lonely.
Yeah,
alone,
it
not
happened
lonely.
actually. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry.
yes, yes.
Somebody
Please
was
tell me.
saying something.
I was just
Please
saying
continue.
alone, not lonely.
Yeah.
Alone, but not lonely.
That's
Yes.
true. That we
Yes,
must
Ji.
know. Like this morning only I had this experience.
Ji.
So that came in my mind that when the session
Yes.
opened,
Yes,
so
Ji.
I
Yes,
will
Ji.
ask this.
So this is
So-
actually welcome. This is what we should actually, because this is real experience in life that we get.
Yes,
Means,
I actually.
Ji,
Yeah.
please tell me. Ji.
So in the morning only, this morning. So
Ji, ji.
I said something like I was fighting. I mean, I had
Yeah.
a conflict in my mind whether to say or not to say. So, but I said that. So
Ah.
then this quote came to my mind, and I
Okay.
wanted to just
That is
see
yes, because
that I did right or not.
yes, means we should be ready on our part. We should be ready to speak the truth. It is not because we stand by it. But how we speak the truth is in our hands. Satyam bruyat na bruyat satyam apriyam priyam cha nanrutam bruyat esha dharma sanatana. Or we see vak tapa in the 18 in the Bhagavad Gita with the different types of tapa. There's tapa of speech, speaking the words with kindness and tolerance. Now, somebody who is in andhakara, who is in darkness, if you shine the light on that person, it will be harsh, no? Somebody who is in darkness, you speak the truth to somebody who is in falsehood. That will irritate the person, isn't it? That will frustrate the person. That is already powerful. Do you have to add the dimension of harshness when you speak it? That's not required. And that is Sanatana Dharma, where you speak the truth, but speak it without the angle of harshness. Truth is harsh in itself for somebody who is ignorant.
Yes, it is. It is.
It is too harsh.
So
It is
I
too harsh.
expected everything. Like
Yes,
I
yes.
thought, okay, no problem. Like, but I should not speak the. I
But-
mean, I should not tell a lie.
No, yes,
So-
yes. And this being alone, these emotions of sorrow, these are also attachments which are from expectations only. What pain, no? There's a pain of
Yes,
being alone.
yes.
Sometimes there is fear of being alone. Right now, 4 of my friends who are very close to me, they are feeling lonely.
Oh.
There is nobody in the world for me. I am alone. Means this is a very unique case. I am alone only. Only I am alone. Everybody else has company. Now, if you see, already they are a 4, no? They are not connected with each other. But, and if you see everyone, if you see if it is unique, unique means what? My case is the worst one. The most unique case is mine only. Means nobody else has something like that. But when hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people having the same thing, uniqueness is not unique now anymore. So one question, I had a friend with we had a dialogue that time. I remember I had sent him a small poem, and the last line was like this: "Young eagle, why do you mourn? Even in
Sorry?
loneliness, you are young eagle." No, it was something he has. That person I knew was a poet, and so for some reason I used to get a lot of poetry messages from that friend, which were sometimes dark somewhere, and it was a little over the top for me also for lack of time. But one particular message, he tried to show his sorrow and revel in that sorrow of being alone, and that's a lower. It's a negative attachment. Again, sometimes people like to cry. People like to attach to the lower nature also by sanskara. Not by default. By default, they will want to rise, but sometimes. So this person was going on the darker side, and so then I tried to negate it with a poem. And the last part of it was, I just told you, you are like this. I am feeling the same thing. I also, but then I just said, young eagle, why do you mourn? Even in loneliness, you are not alone, isn't it? So we are not alone even in loneliness.
Yes.
So this, if we identify, then we will not, and we should be ready to, because a consciousness which is higher has to be experienced. Fear of becoming lonely and not getting the chance to experience that sometimes drives a person to make adjustments, calculations, and these calculations fail no matter, even if you are the best mathematician in the world, this kind of calculation will be of no use because there are so many confounding factors in the world. I don't want to be lonely, so I will keep pampering one person. And that person will become spoiled. And that person will put me alone only. And then I'll be like, you too, Brutus. Hey, what to do? You also, Brutus? Sir, everybody is Brutus only. Don't worry about it. If you are confident, you'll not feel like that. Brutus will do Brutus's work. I will do my work. Maybe I will wear a vest or armor or something which will prevent me from getting stabbed on my back. And that is what Gita talks about the freedom. Mukta Sangha. Asanga Shastrena Drudena Chitva. There's a shloka in the Gita. Asanga, non-attachment. Sangha means attachment, and asanga, non-attachment. That is a weapon like a sword. And it talks about in the inverted Ashwatha tree, that Ashwatha tree is a cosmic Ashwatha tree. Its roots are binding people permanently. People become a part of it and they're never able to come out of that Maya. These are the roots, and there's only one freedom. That freedom is by taking the weapon and cutting those roots. That is the weapon of detachment. That is a sword. That is a shastra which will prevent us. And when you realize this, when you take the first step of asanga, you will understand the meaning of another meaning of detachment, which is mukta sangha, which is free. Mukta means free, sangha means union. This is also detachment. Free union, a beautiful relationship where you are united, yet you are free. There is a bond, but there's no bondage. So something like that. So again, all roads in Gita lead to detachment only. Like all roads lead to home. We have to not lose our personal expectation. Maybe English word is cruel. Detachment makes it little dry. But we can you can use this expectation, letting go of expectations.
Can I say
What has to
something?
happen will happen. Yeah.
Just on the basis of detachment, like once a mother told her child that, see, your job is not to make me happy. Your job is to do what is right. So
Yes,
if you are
yes,
not here
yes.
to make me happy, so then it really is like the mother is not expecting anything. It's like I am there, as I'm doing it out of love and out of duty.
Absolutely.
But if you give me happiness or not happiness is not required for me.
Yes,
Do what
yes.
is right for your life. So
I
that
think
was
there's
a very,
nobody in the
very
world, no? Nobody's job should be to give happiness to us
yeah,
also,
true,
isn't it?
absolutely.
I cannot appoint somebody ki henceforth you appointment letter, you are appointed to give me happiness. These are the perks that you will receive for giving. No, it's not possible at all. So why do we have?
People have that usually like if you don't respond to certain things, if people expecting
Yes,
and you
yes.
are
No, that
quiet
is a
always, like
sanskara.
why
That
are
is
you
a
not
sanskara.
responding also? It's more
That
like
is a
that. Then they get angry
sanskara.
at that also. Oh, you're not
My
responding.
child is my mutual fund, my investment. So many people say.
True.
So
I saw a
acha,
video. I saw a video where there was a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, and then Arjuna was asking Krishna that Krishna, what is wrong then if a parent is asking their child to take care of them after a certain point? So then Krishna was like, if you're asking something, it is not pyar, it is vyapar. So why are
yes,
you
very
asking for
perfect.
it?
Yes, yes, because the people, when they look at this deal also, my child is my investment for future, my mutual fund. म्यूचुअल फंड के साथ आता है ना स्टार सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क, वो देखते नहीं है क्या? वो नहीं, दैट इज समथिंग, इफ यू आर कॉलिंग म्यूचुअल फंड, बी रेडी फॉर सम इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वर्क, सम इन्वेस्टमेंट्स डज नॉट, डू नॉट. पेरेंट्स कैन नॉट बी ब्लेम्ड फॉर चिल्ड्रंस एक्शंस, नो मैटर व्हाट. 18 years के बाद उनकी तकदीर होती है. The saint's child can become a sinner also. Or biggest Hiranyakashipu, look at his story. He is Absolutely. What is the story? Opposite, divine. The child is absolutely divine. So this is not something. So this one will have to come out of it. And probably as we go, like as Payalji said, she saw the example of her everyday life. This will allow people to come out of the fanaticism also, which happens. Because you see, मेरे मन से एक आइडिया गीता में ये लिखा है, तो ये मैं फॉलो करूंगा. अब गीता में लिखा है नहीं लिखा है वो पता नहीं है. One person's father prevented a love marriage from taking place because Gita mein likha hai. And that boy got angry with Gita and Krishna and also me because I am spreading Gita. And he asked me, I said, dude, what happened? He said, no, because of Gita, I could not get married to the person. I said, why because of Gita? He said, no, my father quoted. I said, did you even look at the quote? He said, no, but he told. He said, which quote? And I said, I know 100% before you tell me also. He must have quoted from first Adhyaya where Arjuna is telling Varna Sankara and other things. That is not Gita's proof. It is Arjuna who is depressed and looking for an excuse to run away. Krishna doesn't accept anything. He said, if I knew, I could have argued. I said, now also you can go and tell that this was wrong. But you see, the half understandings without understanding fully. That is why Damleji's experience today actually did not have too much of Shastra, did not have too much of spiritual experiences also, which Damleji is sharing. He's got too many spiritual experiences which can easily overwhelm a person, maybe intellectually or emotionally, but rather go to the practical. Very strong words. Baap dikhao nahi to shraddha karo. How powerful they are. But that is the experience. So now what Payalji shared or what Dipji is talking about, she said her own layer. You see, being able to spot a layer of consciousness of untruth which is on ourselves itself is a big experience. How many of us get it? It is something which we should try. So let us continue. I think with this, we will call it a day today because we have a shortage of time. We can take it ahead next week. Again, we'll look at, I'll have one more story surely. I'm very fortunate Damleji has complied and I'm able to get more stories to write. Only I have to manage before Sunday.
We are
So
also
we will
fortunate that we are able to listen to the experiences that he has,
Ji, ji.
and
Yeah.
somewhere we are
And
also
you have
learning.
wonderfully explained everything. Now the mind is so clear
Ji, ji, ji.
on so many concepts. So I joined late, but I will listen the first part.
Yes.
What
Yes,
I missed.
surely.
So in the
Surely.
recording. So thank you so much
Yes.
for
Hari
the
Om ji, Jai
wonderful
Shri Krishna.
session.
Let us
Jai
conclude
Shri
with
Krishna.
Shanti Mantra. We'll conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mande, Jagat Guru. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai
Jai Shri
Shubh Ratri.
Shubh Ratri.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.